Hello everyone, this is Hachiri, and we're back in FTB Interactions. Now, I've been busy getting some things prepared for today. We're still working on 2 or 3 items to get things started, but I thought, go ahead and while we're waiting on stuff to craft on the last items, we'll just kind of do an overview of what we've been doing. So we added quite a few things. We got our silicone rubber and such set up. We also have tanks for polystyrene and soldering alloy, okay, and that will come in handy later, and I'll show you why. We also up here, as you see, we've got like a whole nother layer going on. I got this making just tons of soldering alloy. Over here, we are making our, I believe that is the silicone rubber. What we got going over here? Polystyrene's over here. So we got all of those going. And that was part of the system necessary to make our neuro circuits. We also over here got our sterilized growth medium for that. And all of this stuff is essentially being fed into our assembly. We got distilled water going, sterilized growth medium, soldering alloy, UU matter. Don't have anything in that one yet. I haven't fully filled it all. But that's what we've been working on, is getting some of that stuff done. The other thing that we've been working on, we did this during the stream, but I thought I'd go ahead and kind of show what we got going on here with this. We changed over to charcoal byproducts. I had to do some reworking of the system, kind of rejiggering a few things, but we have a whole lot more going on here with this. Taking a look at this, it looks like we're finally evening out as far as that goes. This is now slowing down, and we're sitting at about 23,000 buckets roughly of NAC fuel, and we'll get that implemented here shortly. Another change we did is underneath here, I connected the logs from this system that wasn't being used to over here, so that it goes in here basically. It looks like it's not really keeping up. I may need to boost these. We'll see. But that's what's going on with that. Let's see, what else did we get going on? I believe that might be it. I did set up a second distillation tower for this side just to process these because we were running low. And then I modified this so that it's putting styrene in here, and that styrene is going both to the polystyrene system and to this system. So that's the gist. Now, how we're doing the mincemeat, I don't think I showed this off on a recording. It was done on a stream, but not really in a recording. So we have a single ground trap here, and we got a system, basically set up with storage drawers and such here, with a trash can overflow that you can see back. I believe the trash can is over here, right there. And then I was trying to feed it in using conduits from the interface for the ground baits, but in the end I ended up feeding it through the item transfer node that you get from a quest, and that allows us to pull out of the bottom for this and also feed it in with the item transfer node. So it just happened to work out. So that's what's going on with that. I fixed some bugs with this because I made a goof with some of the color systems. So this is all working again. I do need to rip all of this out and swap it out to the wireless. We will deal with that later. Because that's not of importance. And I've been making a crap ton of recipes to get all of the different parts set up for getting stem cells and these neurocircuits here, neuroprocessing units. So let's see here. I need fluid. I'm grabbing 2 solidifiers. And do I have a block mold? That is the $65 million question. I do have one right here. Hello, Chase. So what we're going to do with this is I'm going to set these 2 barrels up as storage to keep glass products. Specifically, we're going to be keeping vacuum tubes and just straight up glass. And we're just going to put it in there. And the reason I'm doing it this way is I don't want this system going like 24/7. I don't want infinite glass in that manner. I just want just enough glass that I can make what I want when I want it, and then the system will replenish itself. That is my goal on that. Now, I don't think I have vacuum tubes in here. We're gonna see. I have that, but I don't have the actual glass casing, just a completed tube. Which is fine. That's fine. Do I have the key in here? I do. I also have this key. Don't know what that key's for, but I have it. Alright. And then this one is going to be the little vacuum tube things. So, we're just going to plug this in. I'm going to grab the wrench from the system. My initial plan was to actually have all of this stuff done ahead of time before recording, but I was like, well, maybe I should show off some of this. That way you guys don't think I'm just like snapping my finger and materializing goods. So I'm gonna set this there, and then we're gonna need to hook up a line. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is, yes, this is connected and it is paired. Good. Excellent. That is what I was hoping for. So, I'm gonna want some exporters. And then I'm gonna want 2 storage upgrades. Or not upgrades, but storage bus things. What else do I flarkin' want in here? I think that's gonna be it. Now, just to prime this particular system, because I don't have any. Alright. And we'll lock that in there. There's my exporters. There's my storage buses. We'll grab ourselves some smart cable. And I guess some sand. Because this is going to be using the sand from the system, so. All right, so let's so you to export there. Set you right there. And get this sorted in this manner. All right, and that will connect that system. So this should now be constantly producing the 2 types of glass. It'll cap at 64 stacks. We won't have more than that. We won't need more than that, to be perfectly honest. And then that way we don't burn through all of our resources. So, with all of that done, I already have the Wetware support boards and stuff made and set up. Taking a look at that, that is just a matter of, you know, the multi-layer fiber, which we've been using for a while, the polystyrene, and this right here is the reason why we needed the polystyrene, was solely for this board, and then an integrated circuit. So that's not anything like dire. And then this is the recipe. Now, I was planning on trying to automate all of the assembly line recipes, but the more I delved into the various assembly line recipes, the more I started to realize I'm going to have problems when it comes to the bigger ones. But fortunately, most of the ones that require more than 9 items are not things that we're going to be really automating. Like, we're not going to automate ultimate batteries. We're not going to be automating fusion reactors. We're going to make all the parts and just push in one, because there's really no reason to automate that. How many fusion reactor Mark 1s are we going to need? How many Mark 2s are we going to need? 3s. You know, we're probably only going to keep 1 or 2 of these at most. So when I was looking at the recipes and debating like how I'm going to do this, I was just starting to realize that it's like a lot of these, like, I'll make some of these things to where we always have supplies of them, but we're not really going to be automating it. So I have this set up, and I was thinking, now that we have that in the system, let's see if we set this up correctly. Let's make 16 of these. Now, I know it requires like a lot of fluids, but I have those fluids preemptively produced and put in here. Now, I don't see anything going in here just yet, so let's just watch this and see where it goes with it. Because I don't know if this recipe is going to work. I don't know if I configured this correctly. Okay, so supposedly it's crafting 8. Let's take a look. So maybe I didn't set this right. Let's see what happens if I put that to 0. It's not pulling out. Oh, I think it crafted it. I think it did it. All right, so I guess we did set that correctly. I just never turned on the thing, and it apparently pulled out of the chest for one of them. All right, we have our neurochips. I don't know if this is like required for anything. Let's hold on to it. Apparently it was. All right. It was part of this, apparently. What are you? Stem cell synthesize. Oh, okay. And a worm. All right, so we completed that. Now this is the next task we got. I also need to get these coded in. It's a blue lens, and we'll get to that. What are you? Okay. Red alloy? Oh, okay. All right, cool. So that actually worked. We actually got that set up, and that worked out just fine. So now we got to look at this one. Now, most of these we already have in one way, shape, or form. The thing I think we're missing is the yttrium barium cuprate wire. So I'm going to set this right here. And I want to see if we have a recipe for this. We do not. So yttrium and barium should already be there as dusts. Yeah. I do need to set up something to combine those, but I'll deal with that. Oh, it gave us 64 worms. Alright, so the other stuff we're going to do real fast before I get sidetracked is this recipe. And this recipe. I'm going to get all that in, set up in its various places. And then we're going to see if we can make ourselves some wetware circuits. So that needs to go in there. That is for the blast. Both of these go over here. All right, that makes the yttrium barium fine wire. Probably stick this one in there. And then we got the wetware processor. So with that, I should be able to make wetware processors now. And we're going to try the ultimate test. We're going to try to make an entire stack of them. And watch the system go. I don't know if it's actually going to take as little time as it says it is. It appears to be being smart though. So we're going to let that run. Well, it's crafting. Oh yeah, it's actually making it. I set this up with a priority system for each of these, and then also set it up to where it has blocking mode on. So if there's something in here, it's not going to put more items in. Looks like it's all holding up. This is good. This is working out well. I wasn't expecting this to work out as well as it did. So that's good. Well, get our completion. All right, so there's our wetware. Let's see. What else do we need to work on in here? I think that might have been the holding point for this, because we already have recipes for all of this, so we can now make the wetware assemblies, which will let us make the other generators and stuff. Like, we could technically make NAC reactors now, because they use this with the enriched NAC rod. We can make the LUV setup here and get to work on that. So now I think all we got left is to get the various high-speed steel components going. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be that. Good. Good. This is actually working out well. I was able to make an entire stack of those without problem. So then, yeah, let's build this recipe too while we're at it. And then we'll focus on high-speed steel after this, because then we can make our motors and such. Before I assume, yeah, that is soldering alloy. Okay, cool. All right. So UV motors, lubricant, soldering alloy, very nice. Fine annealed copper wire, that's fine. Yttrium barium cuprate cable, I will get that going. Long magnetic neodymium rods, of course, of course. Why would this be anything simple? So I have to make nuggets and send them through a lathe. All right. But first, we have 3 types here. Now, we probably only need to go to E if I remember correctly, but if we want to do max, we're gonna need to do the S as well. So let's just take a look here. It looks like standard stuff. So we'll make the different dusts patterns first. Yeah, I don't want that one. We'll make the dust and then make the pattern for it. All right, so that's SENG right there. Iridium dust. This dust will have the pattern for iridium dust. All right, so I don't have a pattern for iridium dust. Oh, come on. Really? No, let's start from this. These we should have as dusts. Just in case I don't have that as a dust. Silicon is a dust, that's a dust, that's a dust. Okay, we're good there. So I guess next is just the 2 iridium. Tungsten steel dust. Actually, I don't think I have an osmium dust, do I? Because my system automatically makes it as a different thing. So these will all be done by hand. And then those will all be done by pulverizer. You gotta be kidding me. It's seriously gonna start that now? Alright, All right, so that will pulverize those. Now, I do have a system that's going to automatically pull that dust out. But if it's being made for a recipe, it should not do that. It should just hold it. So, I guess now we just gotta make each of the dusts and then make the patterns for the other thing. We actually run a dedicated OVH server. So, so we're paying, I want to say, close to 200. It's actually about 187, 190 something dollars in total a month that we're paying. We are able to run multiple servers because of it, though. So, and thank you for that. Now, as far as specs for running this pack, we run it on at least 10 gigs for FTBI. GregTech New Horizons runs at 10 gig as well for RAM. As far as processing power, that's going to depend on the server you have. Am I really out of... I'll be danged. I am out of Vanadium. All right. They say you can run it on like 5 to 8 gigs. I run it on 10 though, because we have had a lot of players come in and out, and it can be a bit intensive. But even with as many players as we have, being as advanced as they are, we're in pretty good shape. Like, there's a little bit of latency, but it's not like end of the world latency. You can still do stuff with almost no stuttering. You don't even know, really, that there's latency. The only way you can really tell is if you're looking at your auto crafting and like, why is this taking so long? And it's like, oh, okay, you know. But otherwise, as far as the monsters and stuff go, you don't really notice it. So this server's in a pretty good shape. Yep. Now, I know it seems crazy to go straight to making the highest tier high-speed steel that we're ever going to do anything with. But the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to have leftovers of all of the different steel types as far as their dusts go when this is done. So then I'll be able to make all 3 recipes at once. And that was my goal with this. Or so I thought. Alrighty then. I'm gonna have to make some of that. Alright, now I got a little of each. We'll start with this one first. And we should... Oh yeah, we're good on heat on those. Alright, so we got that. There's that recipe. And there's that recipe. Now, the other reason we went with a dedicated host while I'm on here is it's more expensive, but the servers just run better than a virtual host. By far, they just run better. So... Alright, so let's take a look at the LUV components. I think this is all going to use HSSG. Yes. So looks like this is a recipe I can do. So we'll grab that. We're also going to get into the pattern process of this. This is the lathe recipe. Now I think my lathe is actually capping out, and I'm gonna have to make a new lathe. But we will... Okay, this can be done with HV. Good. We will cross the lathe thing here in a little bit. You can forge hammer these. Okay, that's good to know. And I'm out of patterns. Alright, we'll put this other stuff away while we deal with that. Alright, so you're full there. I have a little bit of room here. I'm full there as well. So I'm full on both of those. How are we in recording time? 45 minutes? I want to at least get the motor program in there. And then I think I'll do the next recording finishing the rest. I don't have a forge hammer though. So but looking at this, I might want to set up one. I think it's time to expand our stuff. We might have to continue the LUV components next episode. Or at least in the part 2 of the stream. So let's do that. We got quite a bit done in this episode. We got our Wetware processors. We got our neural stuff going on. And we're going to be sitting pretty with some LUV NAC motors here soon. So I think what I'll do is we'll wrap up this recording here. I'll continue with the stream. And the other components is basically just going to be setting up patterns. So I don't really see a reason to really have to go through all that in recording. We'll just get the patterns set up. I'll show them working. I'll show kind of what I did for the different things for that. And then we'll continue on with getting our NAC reactors and the other side of the NAC reactor set up on the next episode. And we'll upgrade our existing NAC reactors to be the next tier as well. That way we have 32 amps of LUV power pulsing through our system. It will be glorious. Glorious. But yeah, we'll wrap up the recording here. And those of you on YouTube, have a wonderful day, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.